Yeah.
Here's the situation. You have no reason to be here. This is a weird correlation that one of Drunk Gus's drunk friends put together when he showed him a picture of wings.
Okay. So, Seeker at this point has been thinking about how he has no reason to be here.
Yeah.
And he's a couple wines in.
Yeah.
And he's decided it's a sign.
Okay.
They're here because Drunk Gus has spotted something that Sane Gus, Boring Gus.
So it's not Drunk Gus and Sober Gus. It's Drunk Gus and Sane Gus.
He showed up one time with a coffin.
That's true. That happened. That's actually true. It's on the barge. They put a coffin.
So clearly there's some divine purpose for them being here.
Okay.
And Seeker is explaining this to Gus.
Yeah.
Gus is pointedly not drinking here.
There's nothing to drink here. They don't serve alcohol. This is a smoke shop. You come in here and you smoke. You partake of the leaf, or you go into the illicit back room and chase the dragon. One of the two.
Oh, so he's not 3 wines in.
No,
He's 3 leaves in.
3 leaves.
That's more like it.
Seeker took what he had to.
You're starting to see things more clearly through the haze.
Obviously.
You're starting to see Drunk Gus's point?
Yeah. So we've got to talk to this guy.
Okay. Both of you know what a Tabashi is, right?
Yes.
Right.
Okay. Both of your characters do as well, yes?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean,
Vaguely. Seeker's very curious about that as well.
Gus has spent his entire life just marching different places and fighting people, so he's met and killed, at least been at present where a lot of people have died.
Okay.
Different people.
So here's what we're gonna do, right? Here's what we're gonna do. Is we're going to go in there. You're gonna say that we need to talk to the owner because we need to buy something for a friend of ours who we've heard is one of his big customers, and we need to know what he likes.
I'm going to say this.
You're going to you want me to say it? I'm going to say, and we'll show them the sigil and tell them like all these stories about the things that he's given us all over the years, how we gotta pay it back to him. Everyone loves helping someone out. That's what we're going to do. And then when we get into the owner, we'll show them the sigil, and if he knows the sigil, then he'll tell us, or like react in some way. If he doesn't know the sigil, oh, our bad, our mistake.
It must have been another smoke shop.
Must have been another smoke shop. And here's the kicker, right? Is at this point, I'm already a customer, so he won't throw us out. Right? Right. Okay, let's do this.
All right. So you
Seeker
asked to
strolls up.
You asked to speak to the owner because
Yeah.
Okay.
Because our friend of ours, he's been to this smoke shop a number of times. You've probably seen him around here, but from what we know, he's a very mysterious man. Very mysterious. Only goes by this, but he's a wonderful, wonderful guy. He's talked to us all the time, giving us all these wonderful smokes. Anyways, we want to know what he likes, because we need to do him a favor.
All these
You know how it
wonderful
is.
smokes.
Yeah. Seeker hasn't smoked before until he came here, but man, it's a great time.
Greetings, human children. Do you like to get the high?
Seeker has a charisma score of 7.
Okay.
I'm not much.
And I will be. This entire character concept was if he plans for something, he can get away with it. There has been no planning here.
All right.
This is the thing.
This is not a Batman situation, in other words.
The opposite of a Batman situation.
This is a Mr. Bean situation.
Do you tell them the name of the person that is your friend who comes here all of the times?
Lord,
Well,
whatever.
Well, I'm going to say he's a mysterious person. We only know him by, and then we bring out the stone, tap it on it, and then we
Okay.
tap the side of our nose, and then we tap the stone again.
You're told to wait here a moment.
Yeah.
And You wait there a moment, and you're told that Savad is intrigued by the description of your antics.
That's what we were going for.
If it works, that was exactly what we were going.
And if he may offer a word of advice when sitting down with the master.
I would love a word of advice.
Don't make up stories.
Okay. You got it. Wait, but I thought he liked the stories.
And he takes you back into a room. And instead of a door, he parts this ocean of beaded rope that clatters musically aside.
Yeah.
The room is filled with a gray haze. And reclining on a large pile of cushions is a man wearing flowing, colorful robes. Very long hair off of the back of his head and his face, and tufts of it coming off of his wrists, down his hands, out of the sleeves of the robe. Seeing a creature like this, your first instinct, this is a monster. This is a man who is also a cat, like a tiger or a lion, and it's going, like, this kind of thing eats people.
Yeah. My second instinct is that I'm really impressed with his robe game.
Robe game is top notch. And he bids you enter, and there's nowhere to sit in this room except piles of cushions around that can be reconfigured in the room as needed. But for now, he's sitting alone in this room, smoking this very long, thin pipe.
Seeker will sit down in front of him.
Gus
One of the cushions.
Gus will sit cross-legged on the floor.
He says, "Such stories you tell in my house. First you embarrass my harpist, and then you spin tales about your dear friend, whose name you know not, for he is so very mysterious. How many smokes did he give you, I wonder?"
He didn't give us any smokes. Seeker hangs his head. Seeker's been found out. This has never happened before.
The worst con man.
Oh.
He asks you what was the advice that you gave to his harpist before you came in.
We told her that if you don't know something, to say that you don't know it.
And he laughs a little bit. He says that you may speak plainly, that he only admits friends to his house. If you've come into his house, walked through his door, partaken of his products, and followed his rules, that surely you are his friends and he is yours. You may ask of him what you will.
And Seeker will sheepishly take out the coin and tap it.
We actually
In
know
fact-
the name of the person that belongs to. I don't
Well-
remember what it is, but we know it.
Well, yeah, but who cares about that guy? And Seeker will just say, "We think someone's trying to blow up the city."
He says that, Savad says that would be most unfortunate, because all of his friends live in the city.
No,
That's
we
what
thought
I
that
said.
too. Yeah. He did say that. And
He tells you that the creature in the image you're showing is charming and a little bewildering.
I think they might be trying to run a game. We heard that there's some sort of way that these powerful demons or whatever, they give people powers. So the power definitely got given out because, and then Seeker like lifts up his shirt, revealing horrible wounds to this
Mhm.
man. And then, but we also, like, look at this. It's ridiculous. This isn't some kind of powerful demon lord sigil, but it is something you might say if you wanted someone to look like an idiot.
He says that in his experience, the only way to look like an idiot is to speak untruths. He says, even nonsense is beautiful in its own way. He says he can do nothing for the wounds on your arm, but he can heal the wounds in your mind. And
I think those might be dug pretty in.
he passes his pipe across to you.
Oh yeah, Seeker will take it. Take a puff.
This is his private stash, clearly. It's much stronger than the smoke you had earlier.
Yeah.
Your head
many
just begins swimming with colors, and I'm suddenly reminded that my wife and I went to Mellow Mushroom a few weeks ago to get dinner, and you look around that place, you're like, they let kids in here. That's
Nice.
And then he motions for you to pass the pipe over to your friend Gus.
These people don't know what mellow mushroom is.
No?
Yeah, what? I don't. What is Mellow Mushroom?
Mellow Mushroom is a very nice, it's a very good pizza place where they have awesome pizzas, but the decor is like Weed Fantasy 420, like
that-
Yellow
that-
Submarine.
That makes sense.
Wait, hold up, because if that's what it is, I don't understand why you didn't think we immediately got that from the name Mellow Mushroom McDohl.
I
I was
figured.
there.
I wasn't.
Google the mascot for Mellow Mushroom, and you'll be like, that's not a store that kids should be going in. Do you pass the pipe over to Gustavus?
Yeah.
Okay. Unfortunately, Savad also does not know what this image is. But he says that your faces are known to him. Which one of you said that you came in here to smoke? Florian, yes?
Yeah, Florian.
Yes.
Gus
You're You're the
Gus-
boat detectives.
That's us.
He asks,
Got it.
Florian would describe themselves too.
how many missing boats have you found?
Well, we tend to do detectiving for boats, not
No.
for boats.
We do it on the boat.
Floor boats.
Do either of you feel at all guilty about turning Drudalf the Cosmic over to Oswald, who apparently just disappeared him?
That dude
he-
killed me.
yeah,
It's
he killed
true.
me. I feel guilty that I forgot to ask him questions before we turned him over,
Okay.
because that could have led to, the solving of a lot of the questions that we have and preventing.
Both of you make a wisdom saving throw. As Gus passes the pipe back over to Savad.
Oh boy, this is gonna be awesome.
2 more character deaths coming up.
It's a
No,
4.
that actually was an 18.
Okay, 18's good. A 4?
4.
As you pass the
6
pipe back, Seeker, for a moment, you feel extremely angry as you're thinking, as he's talking about you guys being the boat detectives, which sounds like pretty nonsense. But for some reason, him mentioning it, your work recently, that he knows who you are and your faces, you start feeling very angry, like, this guy killed you. You just
He
went
did kill
there,
me.
so, like, you're doing an investigation. You were looking
Right.
into... And, like, without a thought, he opened the door and just murdered you straight up. And
I
if
thought I
not...
was a doctor.
If you didn't have... That too, he thought he was murdering a doctor. If you guys didn't have a rich patron with functionally limitless wealth, you wouldn't be here now. That would have been the
Right.
story of you. The anger just overwhelms you for a moment. And then you feel it just mist away. Like the weight is lifted off of you. And it's such a relieving sensation that it makes you almost tired. Like you could just lay down on this cushion right now and nap. Gus, you fare slightly worse.
Okay.
Because all of this guilt starts eating at you. You didn't ask this guy anything.
Nope.
Like,
Just
yeah.
locked him in a room.
You like, people might die if he gets a hold of this. Like, whatever he was doing, he was trying to kill one of the biggest politicians in the city. Men died in that bar. He murdered your friend. And you didn't ask anything. All you did was gave him to the guy for a pittance of what, 20 gold? And
40 gold.
For that 40 golds, other people might die because you let him slip away.
Gus just cries. He's just crying now.
Just breaks
Like-
down.
Break down sobbing, like he's ugly crying.
And Savad
Oh, here. Oh, wait. This isn't Drunk Gus. Oh.
No.
motions the pipe at him, Seeker, and he tells you, and now your friend is ready to speak truth. If we are ready to hear it.
Tell us what's hurting.
And Gus, you are compelled by magic to speak the truth. Or say nothing.
I'm still ugly crying. It's like, I didn't ask him any questions and I should have. We turned him over. And now he's gone and we can't ask him anything.
He
Oh,
asks...
Gus.
This all happened while you were dead, I think.
Right, yeah. Like, it was like I was so upset at him because he killed Seeker. And Seeker's the only one who knows how much a banana costs.
Savad asks, who is this man? And what questions should you have asked him?
He's something the cosmic.
Rudolph?
Drudelf the cosmic.
Savad
Rudolph.
reclines back, takes a long drag off of the pipe, and blows the most glorious shapes out of his nostrils. And he says,
Shit.
Drudalf is known to me. I am a collector of pretty castaways. Drudalf is one that slipped my fingers.
Seeker looks at him and then falls flat backwards on the pillow and says, Drunk Gus was right!
He tells you that Drudalf is a man that he saw was struggling with minor magical talents. Like, it was clear that he wasn't going anywhere. He wasn't going to rise up through the guilds. But he had some skill and some ability. And there was a time when Savad had thought to take him in. Much like he did his harpist, who is a similar soul. But Drudalf got away from him and came around less and less, to the point where he only came by when he had enough coppers to buy a smoke. He says, in fact, the last time I saw him, he brought 2 pieces of gold to me to procure product that I did not have. It arrived yesterday. I have the package. But Drudolf is now gone. And he looks at Gustavus.
Gus just sobs. Ah!
That I fear if he was taken to the 56 cards, then no man will see him evermore.
Gus is just like, he's like, we think he made a deal with a demon. Am I still compelled to tell the truth?
Yes.
Okay.
Savad snaps his fingers and one of his servants comes in. They exchange a couple words in a very exotic sounding tongue that you don't understand. He tells you that Drudalf does not have next of kin. He has no family in the town. He came from far away, was not able to make his fortune in Dunfoss as he thought. The servant returns with a little brown package, hands it to Savad, who reaches out to hand it to Gustavus.
Gus takes it and like puts his face in it and starts crying into it.
Take it in good health.
Thank you.
He says, if you would do me one kindness and say nothing of this to my harpists.
That's
What?
fair.
Okay.
And at this point, you guys are starting to hear the raucous music and merrymaking and carrying on from outside. Some of which
Like-
is starting to spill into the dead man's den.
Okay, I need to know how big of a block party this is. This is very important. Like, is this like consuming the entirety of like Wharftown?
It's consuming the entirety of the area around Who Has Time, for sure.
Like, because like, if they're passing out like free alcohol,
No, nobody's giving away free alcohol. Are you kidding? I guess the question is, do the two of you leave the den and end up joining this party for the rest of the night? Or do you...
I don't know. I don't know if
Stay
I
here
will
and
because I'm super sad now.
We'll leave, but on the way out, I'm just gonna say, oh, by the way, if you want to know who's gonna blow up the city, we have very reasonable rates.
Which of you took the package, Gus?
Yeah, I currently have it.
Florian, you got a 19 on your investigation check. And Alexander got a 23. Or do I have that backwards?
That's backwards.
I mean, those are still pretty good scores.
Yeah.
And you were doing this investigation
High Bluffs, I think it was.
Yeah,
in High Bluffs.
Yeah.
the fancy one next to the shallows.
Okay. The question is, are you looking for loyal moss caps and asking them pointed questions, or are you looking for corrupt moss caps and bribing them?
I'm not above finding a corrupt moss cap to bribe.
Okay. And how much are you investing
Yeah,
into
go with
this?
the bribes.
Okay.
Let's see. Let's go ahead and go with 2 gold pieces.
2 gold pieces. That's a lot of money. You guys are going to be broke at the end of the month.
Yeah, what else is new?
What's he gonna do? Kill us? That'll just be more expensive for him.
Hey, joke's on you. We're broke at the beginning of the month.
It's true. Do either of you mention the name Drudalf the Cosmic in your inquiries?
I don't see a negative to that.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna. Well, okay. Why don't you ask about them, and I'll just ask about unsolved things.
Okay. You grease a couple palms and find a few moss caps who are willing to let some trade secrets go. They're kind of out of their element. Their patrol was in Wharftown until very recently. They were relocated here. It's a much quieter part of town. Especially tonight. I mean, you guys can hear the party behind you over the wall. It's kind of disconcerting, actually, how loud it's getting. One of Penniless's men the other day was injured in a bizarre attack, or these strange cloud creatures. They describe these creatures to you as though you weren't there. And the man was wounded. And Penniless took him to a healer that he knew in Wharftown. The man turned up dead later that night. And it was...
Was he robbed?
There was nothing to steal. This is one of Penniless's
Right.
entourage. This was a man who... He had rags, basically. They know about this because that was their old patrol through Wharftown. And so they still have contacts they're keeping on it. There seems to be no reason for this man to have been murdered except for his association with Percival Penniless. So right now, they've also heard about the attack at the 56 Cards the next day. And they're trying to... The people in Wharftown and the Shallows are looking for this man, Drudalf the Cosmic.
How was the person killed? Were they stabbed? Was it
And-
lightning?
The two men exchange glances and then look back at you. And one of them says, I think the word would be... And he shudders a bit. He says, ritualistic? He says, like a knife was taken in each side of his neck, like one and then the other, right? And you can see he's very uncomfortable. It's like, if you're gonna murder a man for his purse, put a knife in his belly. Be decent about it, at least.
But he was one of Penniless's men.
One of Penniless. He was already wounded in the attack. And then that night he was found murdered in Wharftown, stabbed in each side of his neck once. In a pool of blood. They think that Drudalf did it just because the next day Drudalf was part of the attack at 56 cards.
And where specifically was this in Wharftown?
Down by one of the wharfs. Near to one of the docks.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have all the details because it's not their beat anymore.
Right.
And you kind of see a mixture of like confusion, like puzzlement, and maybe a little relief that this is not their jurisdiction anymore. Like, they don't need to deal with this, but...
Trying to think if there's anything else. I have a feeling Wharftown is our next destination.
Yeah, sounds like it.
I mean, if you go there tonight, there's a big party.
Neat. Doing work, though. Can't party when we're doing work.
I think your companions would beg to differ. Is anybody taking a nighttime action, or are we going back to the barge for the night?
Depends on the action of the nature, the action of the work, nature of the work.
Lucius,
I mean, I think I
go back to
need to
the
regroup
barge
with
for a rest.
I think we need to regroup with the rest of the people and just share what we know before I decide if I'm going to take a nighttime action.
Okay.
All right.
Gustavus and Seeker are in very little condition to do much else tonight because they've been smoking the good leaf. Mm-hmm. And Lucius has had a lot to drink. And maybe you are the only two who has done any work at all this evening.
So they mentioned the package that they got?
I should hope so.
Oh yeah, Seeker mentions everything.
Yeah, let's pop that open.
And Florian, since you're the one who frequents the hookah den most often, this is a lot of expensive drugs. This is really hard stuff. It's nothing special in terms of like you would use it in like a magic ritual or thing. You think this is the kind of thing if like a hardcore addict got a hold of 2 gold coins, this is immediately what he would do with it.
And Florian says, "Oh, you two must have really pleased somebody tonight." And he looks a little concerned.
Is Gus still crying?
He's sniffling a little bit.
Okay.
We talked to a cat.
Ah. The plot thickens.
All right, the drugs are good, but they're not that good.
Oh, also,
Tabashi.
one of Penniless's men was totally ritually murdered in Wharftown the night after the attack of the cloud creatures.
And Penniless didn't tell us this? Does he not trust us?
He might not have known yet. We were talking to him the next morning.
Our patron, Corio?
Alright, so
Might
why
have a playmate
that
that'll
guy?
McDohl, what'd you say?
Our friend Corio might have a playmate that will keep us off, keep him off our backs for a few days at least.
Well, I mean, that doesn't do us any good if it doesn't involve Mr. Third Party. Corio's not coming here to settle the books himself.
I think Mr. Third Party likes smokes.
What do you guys do with this parcel of exotic and almost certainly extremely illegal drugs?
Oh,
What's
Florian
it
is
worth,
keeping
Florian? Oh, okay.
Oh no, Florian is not moving this. Oh, that would get him into serious trouble. No, this is for nights when we crack a big case.
Or like, Wednesday, whatever.
Or Wednesday, whatever comes first.
Okay.
We solved the mystery of the day after Tuesday.
Once Lucian's had a shot of coffee in him, he'll try to elaborate a little bit about what the angle that he's playing.
Did you make
Try
coffee?
Probably. Kevin's probably asleep by now.
So when
No,
Lucius,
don't worry.
Lucius describes the conversations and frustrations that he had with Corio throughout the night,
Yeah.
it might strike you guys odd that for a man who's trying to establish legitimate connections with a family, he does seem awful cagey about talking about his connections to this family.
Seeker makes big sweeping motions with his hands, and glowing lines appear in the air, and then an invisible creature picks up a coffee pot and starts brewing coffee.
So are you guys taking nighttime actions, or are we resting tonight?
Resting.
Resting.
I think Florian and Alexander are good to maybe go investigate. I mean,
Florian
the
is
trail's
concerned
going to be
about-
real cold on that murder, but
Yeah,
maybe
Florian
we
is concerned
pop
about
over there and you can detect magic, see if there's anything
Okay.
I
the
missed.
rest of the party and their
Okay.
kind of incapacitation, and we have deadlines to meet. So
Mhm.
Florian is a little concerned. He will go tonight and do nighttime
Yeah.
actions.
All right, so what are you guys doing tonight?
We are investigating the wharf where this ritualistic murder took place.
Okay.
And gonna prep up some detect magic. Gonna do that as a ritual.
Okay.
See if can't lead us anywhere, even though I think Alexander's right. This is probably really cold at this point. Well, it couldn't be that cold, right? It was what,
It was a couple of
probably
nights ago.
3 days? Couple of nights ago? 3 nights? 4 nights?
I mean, I know residual magic won't stick around that long, but maybe they missed something like one of those needles or something that still had some intrinsic magic.
And everybody else is sleeping for the night?
Yep.
Finding a couch
Yep.
to fall down on? Alright. So the three of you can take the benefits of a long rest. Florian and Alexander, poking around. This murder occurred near to these warehouses here. The warehouses are owned by the Boristus family. This is a noble house which a long time ago was very wealthy in maritime trade, but over the years managed to kind of trade themselves down to the point where now they're just barely a noble house that owns these warehouses. The body was found near one of the docks close to the warehouses. Boristus does not actually operate the warehouse directly. He has a man named Tall Tal who runs the day-to-day at these warehouses. Do either of you get it up into any criminal mischief in Wharf Town at all?
Well,
Like
apparently
generically or like right now?
Just generically, as a matter of course.
I mean, maybe the light bits of breaking and entering to investigate cases.
Okay.
but
apparently that's frowned upon on being part of the signers. So
That's
not
only if
for-
you get caught. If you don't get caught, it's probably fine.
Which is why we do the basic stuff and not like
Yeah, leave the breaking and entering to me.
selling hardcore drugs on the street.
I mean, the drugs are only. I mean, he only paid 2 gold for them. They're not gonna pay off any part of your debt.
Give it time.
So yeah, the warehouses are just there for holding places for goods incoming and outgoing to the Wharftown docks. And you know of the man who apparently runs the day-to-day at the warehouses. More than that, you don't have. There's no actual trail at the site of where this killing supposedly happened anymore. The body's been moved away. The blood has probably been trampled down into the road at this point. And you cast Detect Magic as a ritual?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What does this ritual look like? Like, what form does it take?
Oh, man. Well...
It's got to use all the same components as the spell otherwise would, but otherwise, it's kind of up to you.
Yeah, well, considering he's an onomancer, there's probably a lot of verbal components and saying the victim's name
Okay.
a lot.
Which is just generic NPC name that somebody would have mentioned because you paid him 2 gold. It's fine.
Exactly. Why do you always crash when I need you?
The Detect Magic spell goes off in the night, and kind of unsurprisingly, the only magic you detect is the Artificer standing next to you.
Hmm. Gives a shrug to Alexander.
Hmm.
What's next?
Sorry, can you tab where the murder happened again?
Warehouses are down here, number 10.
Where is number 10?
Does the murder like in open sight? Was it like they dragged him into a quiet alley to perform this ritual killing, or?
No idea. This is where the body was found stabbed in a pool of blood in the morning.
Okay.
The body was taken away by the moss caps, and that was pretty much the end of it. They don't know who did it, but they suspect this guy Drudalf, and nobody knows where he is. He seems to have just disappeared.
That's at night, so we really can't bother the proprietor.
Well, the proprietor would be in his manor house on the other side of town. You'd have to bother one of his employees who are on site.
And it's been too long to follow the trail, like blood or tracks or anything, to
Yeah.
figure out where the body was originally.
What's next?
Yeah, I'm thinking. Do you want to venture into the bad part of town?
Yeah, no. Suits me just fine.
We don't have our muscle with us. It's the only place I could think of on this list where we might get an immediate hit.
Yeah.
So a man that knows things about things in Tin Whistle Alley is a man that you two would only know by reputation as 2 guys who tries to keep their nose clean of any criminal shenanigans. The man's name is Errol the Gent.
Mm-hmm.
He's known as the boss of Tin Whistle Corner, and mostly you know to stay away from him.
Do I think he has moss caps on the take? I guess with everything shaking up, even if I did know that at one point it wouldn't matter anymore.
That's a very interesting question, because you're absolutely right. Like, a man like Errol the Gent, if half the stories you've heard about him as far as like connections with like prostitution rings and smuggling operations and arranging for illicit goods to change hands, for him to be able to get away with half of this, he would have to have moss caps on his payroll. But the moss caps have been shaken up recently, so it's really difficult to say. It's also fair to say neither of you have ever met this person before.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
But the murder did kind of happen on his turf.
Florian is vapid enough to like not be bothered by any of that,
Mm-hmm.
and just be like, "We should go talk to him."
All right. And Alexander's overconfident enough to go along with it.
All right.
This is how trouble always happens.
As you approach Tin Whistle Alley,
Let me go ahead and queue up the mark-offs for the next 2 raise spells we have to do.
The building's back in this area because the alley kind of forms where some of these dilapidated buildings, most of which are empty and boarded up now. There's actually a cliff face, a natural cliff that comes in towards the wall where it meets the wall here, making this dark, crowded space. And as you turn down one of the streets and enter back into where you know Tin Whistle Alley is, you become very aware of a couple of men stepping in behind you, kind of shadowing you some 20 or 30 feet back. Before you know it, you see a pair of men appear in front of you as well, blocking your path. They look you up and down. Are you guys openly wearing weapons?
I mean, Florian has his scepter.
Yeah, I don't think
focus, so.
I think
But
the
other than that,
size
no.
of my crossbow prevents it from being concealed under my cloak.
Okay. They look at your nice clothes and your fancy scepter. What do you think, boys? We have here a couple of fancy lads.
Good evening, gentlemen. How are we this fine night?
You call them gentlemen, and they exchange chuckles between the four of them. One of them from behind you says with a raspy voice, "I like your boots quite a lot.
Oh, thank you. I like them too.
I think they'd look good on me. What do you think, boys?" And the boys all agree. They all think that your boots would look very good on him.
And
Look, we're not
Florian
looking
agrees.
for any
They would
trouble.
probably look good on you. Yes, I agree. Completely oblivious.
And what did Alex say?
We're not here looking for any trouble.
And one of them feigns insult. Says, "The very thought that my brethren and I would cause trouble. I think I like your boots."
Apparently, we've met a bunch of.
Are they
boot
all human?
connoisseurs.
They're all human, yes.
I'm pretty sure they're not going to fit you, buddy.
He says, "I'll take them home for my starving boy who's sick with the pox, so that he may have one last joy in his short life."
And Alex was put his hand on his crossbow without drawing it and say, "Look, there's some silver in it for you if you can give us some information, but I don't want this to have to come to violence."
Florian just gives a chuckle.
Make an insight check, Alexander.
Yep.
Does your crossbow just look like a standard crossbow? Or are there like
Oh, God.
open modifications on it?
There are tons of modifications on it. Zeri triggers, a weird iron rail welded to the bottom, a couple of canisters on the side. You said an insight?
Insight.
Insight would be a 5.
A 5?
Yeah.
Okay. The man suddenly kind of backs down from his demands when you put your hand on your crossbow. Makes you feel pretty good about yourself. Like, yeah, that's right. You better. Just come to think of it, I never liked my boy much. And he's kind of just glaring at you now.
And I'll reach into my pouch and pull out a couple of silver coins, jingle them together. Look, we're looking for information on a murder that happened probably on your turf a couple of nights ago. We just need information. Nobody has to get hurt.
He reaches out and takes the silver and
Give
pockets
him,
it.
5 silver.
Says he doesn't know nothing about no murder.
I'm not looking for someone. I think I know who did it. I'm trying to find out the details of how and when they did it. And it's none of you, boy.
Florian, what are you doing during this exchange? Just waiting?
Yeah, just waiting. I'm trying to think of something doofy Florian can do, but not coming up.
Florian, what's your passive insight?
0. Oh, sorry.
Is 12.
12. The man that Alexander is speaking to is starting to look very nervous. The other 3 men seem to be oblivious to what's going on. One of them's behind you is still going on about your pretty boots and how they look prettier on him. The man that Alex is speaking to says, I'll take your silver as a kindness. And you can think of it as a lesson well learned. Now you boys better go on back to your fancy summer cottage or wherever you came from.
No, I don't think our business is quite done here yet, sir.
I want to speak to your manager.
All right, Karen. So what are you doing? What are you saying to him? Bork?
Florian pulls out 2 more silver pieces,
Okay.
tosses it to him, goes, I think we all just need to take a deep breath, relax a little bit, and share what we know.
And he snatches the coins out of the air, pockets them, and says... He says that he will catch as many coins as you throw his way, as many as it takes for you to take the kind lesson. He doesn't know nothing. You can keep paying him so he can keep repeating himself, and that's fine by him.
I think you do know something, though. I think whatever you do know has you very, very nervous.
Make an insight check. Make an active one now.
Active one. That is a 20.
Look at that.
2.
As you're speaking the words, like, oh, I think you must know something, you start to realize his gaze keeps going back to Alexander's crossbow. And you realize why. You see recognition in his eyes. He knows exactly what that crossbow is and what it's capable of. This man has seen such weapons used before. He knows better. If it was a standard hand crossbow, he would not back down from this. He's a thug like this, you think, could be capable of taking him down. What has happened here is he's noted that Alexander is not just some guy who wandered into an alley. Alexander is a guy who can actually do some damage. That's why he's nervous.
Okay.
Whether you could think of a way to use that to your advantage, I will leave as an exercise for the class.
Well, it seems then we just have ourselves a little bit of a problem here. We've given you 4 silver pieces that you are very, very happily able to accept, and yet you have not delivered on any information that we might be able to use, so that represents a little bit of a conflict of interest here now. See, I have a little bit of a problem. I would really hate it if that problem had to escalate.
Make an intimidation check.
Florian is the least intimidating person ever. I'm gonna spend 2 blips on that. Let's see what happens.
Let's see.
That's a 5.
There's the McDohl we all know and love.
That's what
Right
happened.
when it matters. That was worth it. No, there's no way Florian is intimidating in any capacity whatsoever.
Okay. Roll some initiative.
Uh-oh.
Let's
Florian
take one of
has
these
one
out.
save.
I mean, it was coming. We just keep splitting up.
He gave you 2 chances to walk away peaceably. When he sees that you guys are not going to turn on and walk away, he points at Alexander and shouts to his 3 men. Says, "Him, bring him down first." And Florian, looks like you have won the initiative.
Cool. All right. I'm a magic missile, whatever guy is closest to me.
Wow, going
That's not
straight for the lethal.
Oh yeah,
All right.
they got murderous intent.
There's going to be 4 more murders to investigate. Yeah, sure. No, what are you doing with Magic Missile here? Like, this is
Our barge is going to be on fire before the end of the session now. Thank you very much, guys.
Listen,
I'm
we're
listening.
not the ones drinking and getting high.
It looks like all 4 of them are going to lunge at Alex first because he's the one carrying the magic crossbow, and the bandit in charge pointed at him.
Got to put a stop to that.
Okay, what are you
So,
doing?
Blasting whatever one of the bandits, whoever's gonna lunge at him.
Oh, they're all going to go on 7.
All right. So, give it first memory launching a missile. Let's hit the first guy because there's 3 of them. You said
There's 4 of them total. There was
There's
2 that
4
fell
of
in
them
behind you, and 2 more stepped out in front of you. One of the
All
ones
right,
in front
2.
of you is the one that was talking to Alexander.
hit the one next to the guy, not the next to the guy talking to us. He's the first one.
Okay.
Ooh, max damage. It's 5.
All right.
Is he still going?
Oh, yeah.
And 4.
Are you attacking the same one?
Yeah,
Let me actually look something up real quick.
sure.
Because I'm pretty sure you've got to tell me who you're attacking all at once, rather than one missile. Because you fire all the missiles at once.
Darts can all strike simultaneously and can all. Nope, you're right. Darts
Yeah,
all
they strike simultaneously. So you
and
can...
direct them to hit one creature or several.
Yeah,
In that
so
case,
I need to
I'm
know
gonna-
who you're hitting, and you can
Yeah.
hit 3 guys, but I got to know who you're hitting.
Yeah, let's hit 3 guys.
Okay.
So that's 5, 4, and 4.
5, 4, and 4. So which 3 are you hitting? The 3 that...
Everyone who didn't talk.
Okay. All right. Now, that was your action. Moving in either direction is probably going to enter threat ranges.
Sure. That's fine. As a reaction, I am casting shield.
Just preemptively casting shield?
Yep. Oh wait, no, I can't do that as a reaction. Sorry.
No, you can't do
Yeah,
that.
you do that one time,
on...
you.
So
Yeah,
there's like 4 reasons you can't do that.
Yes.
So
Yeah, McDohl.
It's been a while since I've
Including it's nonsensical.
played D&D. So
Yeah, because if you cast shield now, it would be over at the end of your turn. So
No.
okay.
next turn.
You've definitely stunned, like, all of them. One of the men behind you that you hit stammers out, "To hell with it, no boots are worth this!" And you hear him beat feet down the alley. The other 3 lunge for Alexander.
Looking for a 16.
Looking for a 16. Ooh! Betting a 2's not going to do nothing. I have a
No.
21 and a 20.
Oh yeah.
All right.
They grab you dealing 21 damage.
4 points of piercing damage from the first dagger.
Mm-hmm.
3 points of piercing damage from the second dagger.
Oh.
And the third man lunges in, but just catches air. And, I mean, they're going for the gut. They're going for the kill shot. They apparently, one look at the crossbow scared the bejesus out of this guy. He knows exactly. He wants to make sure you don't get a chance to do anything with it. That being said, it's now your turn.
Alexander reaches back into his alchemist's kit, pulls out a small vial and drink. I cast Sanctuary on myself.
What the hell does that do?
That's a bonus act. Or sorry, I'm going to do that after my. Sorry, that's a bonus action. I'll do that after my attack.
Okay.
First, I am going to cast Ray of Frost at the guy who was talking. Are they in?
Is one of these a
are they in
cantrip?
melee right now?
Ray
Yeah.
of Frost. Okay, Ray of Frost is a cantrip. Yes, they're both in melee range with you.
So
I'll say only one of them is
disadvantage on-
in melee range with Florian.
Okay.
Yeah, because they all stepped in with
So, yeah,
daggers to
first-
try to stab you.
Yep. So first, I pull out a vial of something, pour it into the crossbow, aim at a guy, and pull one of the secondary triggers.
Okay.
That hits an armor class of 15.
15 hits. I mean, they're not wearing any kind of armor. They just got street clothes.
Yeah.
Which one are you attacking? There's the man that you were talking with, the man
The guy
next
who was,
in.
who I was talking with who didn't get a magic missile.
Okay.
He gets 1d8 cold. Alright, so he takes 2 cold damage.
Okay.
Still want to fight?
And so what is your cross? Do you actually shoot him with something physical, or does your crossbow
So I
just
pour
like...
I pour a thing into I pour some liquid into the cylinder on the side of the crossbow. I pull one of the secondary triggers, and a beam of frost flies out of a nozzle underneath the actual bow.
Okay. And yeah, this wave of pain covers his face, but he's also pretty sure if he gets you one more time in the gut with a dagger, you're going down. Moving or staying?
And yeah, then as a bonus action, I cast Sanctuary on myself, drinking a vial I had prepared before, specifically for Seeker, so I thought he might need it. But
what does this do? Any creature who targets the warded creature with an attack or harmful spell must first make a Wisdom saving throw. On a failed save, the creature must choose a new target. Oh, okay, so we're just killing Florian instead. That's fine. Florian,
I'm gonna.
moving or staying put?
Can I move so that they have to attack? If they move to attack me, they can't get Florian. Can I put some space between the two of us?
I'll say you can interject yourself in such a way that two of them are not able to attack Florian, but one
Okay.
of them...
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
That's what I do. I kind of spread out, so if they come over to stab me, they'll waste their turn if they don't overcome that save.
Sure. Florian, you're up.
Well, I got another magic missile, and there are 3 guys, so
I mean, something
Glad I didn't
obvious
cuss.
thing.
so glad I didn't cast shield. That is 2, 2, and 5.
Okay, which one's going to which man?
Speaky guy can get 5 damage, and the other guys can have 2. Because I did not target Speaky guy first time.
Okay. Speaky guy is bloodied, and as the second volley of missiles comes out, and I mean, yeah, Alexander's been stabbed, but you haven't been touched at all, and you also seem extremely dangerous. And there's the sound of a clatter. He throws his dagger down, and he's recoiling from this missile. And he holds his hands out. He says, "All right, point made. I give."
Do the other two stop attacking too?
They do. As soon as he throws his dagger down. Actually, I will give Florian, if he chooses to take it, an attack of opportunity against the man that runs behind you. Because one of them's going to try to make a break for it instead.
How far away is he?
I mean, he was standing right next to Alex, because he just went in and tried to stab
Okay.
him. But he missed, and then he just ate a second magic missile, and then his boss
Right.
just gave up.
Okay. And he's gonna run? Nah, Florian's gonna let him run.
And he drops his dagger into the alley, and he runs away. The two men in front of
Thieves don't
you
like cowards.
have given up. And he's
All could have been avoided.
pleading. He doesn't know what you want from him. He doesn't. He'll give you your silver back, and he's cringing with the pain and the cold, and
Alex motions, "Get down on your knees," and he walks over towards him.
they both get down on their knees.
And the guy who was talking, Alex pulls a vial out of his pack, pops it open, pours it down his throat. That's a cure wounds, but I'm going to say, all right, now you're going to tell me what I want to know, and if you don't, that's going to become a double those wounds that I just healed up are going to open up real bad. Start
Make
bleeding
a
profusely.
deception check at advantage.
Okay. That's 7.
You're not certain that he's. I mean, -2, really?
7 charisma.
Okay.
It's not our fault. We didn't roll it.
Hey, don't blame
I mean,
us.
for,
You're not-
For some reason, Florian thinks he's the least intimidating person here. He's not 3 feet tall.
You're not sure that he believes you, but something messed up is definitely going on, and he doesn't know what foul liquid he just drank.
That
But he
foul
just-
liquid
he just
restores
kinda
5
nods.
hit points, by the way.
Okay. He just kind of gives you a curt nod.
So I'm gonna collect up. I think there's 4 daggers sitting in the alley.
Yes.
All right, I'm gonna collect up those 4 daggers, stuff them into my pack.
He mails them
All
off
right.
to his friend Red, who lives in another game.
I'm gonna take the silver back. All right, look, I'm glad nobody got killed, but we really need some information right now. So there was some sort of bizarre murder over by the wharfs a couple nights back. We need everything you know, and everything your friends know, and everything your sick kid knows about that murder. Go.
He says, "Weren't us. It weren't any of the gents' men. I tell you that. I swear on it. I'll swear on any book."
I don't disbelieve you. What do you know about it? What I didn't ask what you don't know. I want what you know.
Even if something is insignificant, this tiny little detail, we want to know it.
He says, "The gent." You see, he's hesitant because he's terrified of what the gent will do to him, but he's also terrified of what you will do to him. Because what kind of sick bastard halfway kills a man, then heals his wounds magically, and threatens to kill him again? This is really messed up. He says the gent says it's the flying pig. The flying pig is what done it.
Does he know anything about the flying pig? Do you know anything about the flying pig?
And he starts shaking his head vigorously. He's like, the gent, he won't say nothing to you though. He won't talk to you. Please,
Okay.
please don't kill me, and don't
I'm not
tell,
gonna kill
and
you,
don't tell him I said. Don't tell him I spoke anything.
We don't have to say, he doesn't have to know anything, but here's what we're going to do. Tomorrow night at the same time, my friend and I are going to be back in this alley.